कोई मरता है क्या
मछली पकड़ने का जाल बिछाने I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like.
My name is Habib. This is my self-portrait. It's been a dream.
In 1995, the media drew attention to the ethnic minority of Britain. Within 10 days, there was a tea event that had record, which gave us an insight into the state of the race relation in Britain.
Event 1. Linford Christie, one of the greatest sportsmen Britain has ever produced, announced his retirement due to disrespect of his achievements and constant questioning from the press to be Britain's captain.
Troy Gardner, an illegal overstay, has lived in Britain since 1987. Mounting a quasi-style operation, 2 police officers and an immigration officer broke into her home and physically overpowered her. Result, died 4 days later with brain hemorrhage.
Event 3, the Bradford riots. We were told that the riots occurred because of a generation gap, a facile political convenient explanation. The Asian youth were born and raised in Britain, were said to be alienated from both their parental and British culture. And this constituted a combustible material ready to explode at the slightest provocation. Yeah, right, it's the Asian parents. They obviously failed to socialise their kids. Let's face it, they haven't come to terms with the Western culture. Bullshit. This is shifting the attention from the insensitive policing and the reality of racial disadvantage and blame the victims themselves.
Most countries acknowledge those who manage to live in a country for 7 years as legal.
The media showed no respect for Linford's ethnicity, achievement and his manner of relating to them. With Joy, the Home Office and again, the media showed no respect for her humanity and moral claims. In Bradford, the police used this incident, their rights, feelings and complaints against them, to put them in their place. All this apparently shows that still, in the 1990s, there is so much resentment and refusal to accept us as equal members of British society. All those cases have revealed that there is no respect for blacks in Britain. Christie, you're arrogant. Getting to live with the rules that the white folks set. All you Joys, piss off. This is our country. We will beat you to death. Bradford riots, accept your lives. You're lucky that you have education, parents, very obviously inadequate. This is the challenge thought of Britain. You need to realize that we demand an end to discrimination. We demand equal opportunities. We demand recognition. We demand a voice. We demand respect. Britain, take a look at yourself.
In Linford's case, the media have constantly drew attention towards the size of this man's penis, not his achievements. Regrettably, this shows the way black athletes are fatalised, vulgarised, their spectacular contribution towards British society trivialised. In Joy's case, highlighting a now notorious British obsession with legal immigration. I'm sure you all know what it took to restrain Joy. If not, let me reiterate, she was dragged to the ground, handcuffed, stuck her legs and thighs together with body belts, and gagged her head with 12 foot of sticky tape repeatedly wrapped several times.
Linford Christie, top boy, amazing athlete, absolutely incredible.
Do you think he gets the recognition he deserves?
Nah, definitely not.
Why?
Don't know. I really don't know. I've always wondered that.
Do you think like the media go on about how big his lunchbox is than all of his achievements?
Well, yeah, I would imagine so. Like,
why do you think that is?
Because it's quite a size, apparently.
Do you not think it's just because he's black and any other white athlete they wouldn't tackle that way?
Possible. I've never really thought about that. But they should definitely have him presenting record breakers, because I can't understand a word Chris Akabusi says. But I mean, I don't know.
So what about Joy Gardner? Do you know about Joy Gardner?
Not really, no.
She was the woman that got attacked by the immigration officers and killed.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the verdict they got off?
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. It's just that shouldn't be going on at all. Definitely not. It's like foul, gross.
Do you think it shows you how the Home Office and this government is racist?
Yeah, definitely.
It is. What about the Bradford riots? Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, well, they've moved up to Leeds now, haven't they? I think.
Who?
I know, it's just what I've heard about it, you know. I'm kind of...
Tell me what you heard about it.
Just loads of bother going down about like racism and shit and all that stuff. Just like, pardon my French, sorry.
You can swear as much as you want.
Okay.
So, do you not know what the media wrote about the Bradford riot?
Well out of touch at the minute. Well out of touch.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's great. Thanks.
The British Federation of Athletics didn't meet his whatever he wants. So I mean, I think he runs for nothing, and I expect something for nothing. If I was Linford, I would do it. I mean,
so what do you think about the media going on about the size of his lunchbox rather than his achievements?
All the media can say whatever you want, you know, just want to sell papers. I mean, just making stories, man. And I mean, Linford is still the best, man. If you want to go back, he still can go back. If you pay him the right money, he will run for you.
So what about...
Yeah, I think he does, yes. No doubt about it, aye.
What about the media? Do you think they portray him as being a brilliant athlete?
Yeah, maybe.
You do? What about articles? I mean, I've read articles that they refer to his size of his lunchbox rather than to the size of his achievements. What do you think that is? Do you think that they would do it to a white athlete?
I would, yeah. I think they would, yes, aye.
If he was his... What word am I looking for, Ronnie? As good as Linford is, you know what I mean?
He's a brilliant athlete, and I think he's recognised as being a brilliant athlete.
And that's why the lunchbox crack and all, that's why that hilarious.
Right, well, what about him resigning because he's not getting the money that he asked for?
I think it's pure greed on his part.
Do you think? Well, he did say that if the money was going to young training young athletes, then he wouldn't mind it, but because like he's the only one that's getting cut, that's why he's pissed off.
No, I think he's if he's going to start being a prima donna, like he's going to get the support of the people that he has by the majority of the country. He's going to get it taken away from him. Right. In my opinion, I think he's well paid, he's well looked after. He's a brilliant athlete, best we've ever had for years and years. And I already wants to.
Too big, but
if he's going to be a prima donna, he's just going to lose what sympathy he's got from the public anyway, you know.
So do you think he should have sympathy? Do you not think he should be adored because he's like, let's face it, one of our the world's best athlete, really?
Of course he is. He's like a lot of people, black or white. It doesn't make any difference. They get to a point where they think that they can just demand anything they want to demand. All of a sudden they get a little bit too big for their boots, you know. Not just Linford Christie in particular. Anybody, footballers, anybody, any footballers, any athletics, anything.
So what do you think about Joy Gardner then? Do you know a little bit about her?
It was disgraceful the way she was
shackled up, didn't or something?
It was disgraceful the way. All right, I mean, I'm not sure the facts and figures, but all right, she was a illegal immigrant or something.
She wasn't a legal immigrant. She was a legal overstay. She was waiting from the Home Office to get a decision.
whatever. If she was illegal, she was illegal. Whether you know. Whether
Well, illegal immigrant, I mean, you can take somebody out of the country and chuck them out straight away. She was an illegal overstayer. She'd been in the country for 7 years already. I mean, she'd had a child here and stuff. So what do you think about the police getting off?
getting off, that was.
They got off?
That was disgraceful. That it doesn't. But there again, you see, I wouldn't just compare that with the black lady who died. It's also happened in Newcastle. It's happened that people were beaten up by the police, white people. Same as blacks. They get beat up by the police and they die and they get away with unlawful killing. It's disgraceful.
What do you think we should do about it?
The police should be brought to book for it. Never mind all the secrecy of bringing in other police forces and all that sort of shit. There should be
a law.
A public inquiry to find out exactly what happened, and if they're found to be guilty, which they never are, because they're always investigated by their own sort.
So do you think our government have got a big part to play on it? Right?
Aye, of course they have, aye.
Okay, that's great. You've said
Okay,
it great.
no problem.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. Thank you.
Not always fair.
In what way?
They're looked down upon. Second class.
How do you think we should change it? Both black and white people.
Just show love to them.
To them? In what way?
Well, accept them as one of ourselves.
When do you think that'll happen? Do you think it'll ever happen?
I don't know.
I think he does, actually. Yes, I think he does. Yeah.
Right. Do you think the media represents black people properly, or
only if they're good at what they're doing?
Right. What do you think of the media, like, sort of talking about Linford Christie's tackle than the Medleys one?
Well, I must say, it does look pretty prominent, you know, when they get the camera straight onto them. And I think they go for that part more than anything else, really. You know?
Do you think that's right, or?
Well, he's not the only one with good gear, I suppose, you know, but possibly it's right, yeah.
Thank you very much. Do you think Linford Christie gets recognition due to him?
As a person, no, I don't think he does, because he's only getting judged on one thing, which is athletics, the 100 metres. As a person, you hear nothing of him, so you don't really know what he's doing behind the scenes.
Right. So what do you think the way the media represents him, like they represent him of his tackle instead of the Medleys one?
I think it's all wrong. I think it's just the press. The press are hit and missy when he's winning, and they're all full of it. But I mean, like, he's been getting beat lately, so the press are taking a real dig at them.
So, what do you think the way the black people are being represented in the media?
I think the black people get a bad press altogether.
And you've heard about Joy Gardner, the way she got murdered by the immigration people. What do you think of that?
I think it was ridiculous. The incident should never have happened.
And the way the court, they got away with it. What do you think of that?
It shows that the whole legal system in this country is a joke, and something needs to be done about it.
Right. What do you? You've heard about the Bradford riots. What do you think the cause of it was?
Probably at the end of the day, it was, as far as I was concerned, it would be due to the police making too big an issue out of a small thing.
That's what normally what happens, isn't it?
Well, that's it, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, no problem at all, mate.
No, I don't think so. I think there's an element, as the press does and the media does, with every person who achieves something about knocking them down. I think he's had a fairly unfair treatment by the media and the press recently.
Do you think that they represent him very well? Like, sort of, there always seems to be on about, like, his lunchbox and not the Medleys one.
I think there is an element of frivolity. I think that's to be expected. Again, there's not an awful lot that people on the street can do to improve the way the media represents someone.
Right, you've heard about the Bradford riots. What do you think the cause of it was?
I think like many other civil disturbances, frustration. People feel that they aren't being represented and they're not being heard and take matters into their own hands.
Do you think the police made a big issue out of a little thing?
No, I don't think so. I think the police position is difficult. They're there to uphold the law and they're there to uphold order. But at the same time, it contradicts with people's desire to express themselves. No, I don't think it is.
You've heard about the Joy Gardner incident. What do you think of it?
I think it warrants a further investigation as to the conduct and some of the policies behind immigration in this country and how the immigration service goes about its business. And I think in nothing else it enlightened a number of people in this country as to how the system actually operates.
Probably not. I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, they concentrate on the size of his sex organs to the detriment of his actual talent, you know? I mean, he's the fastest bloke. Well, last year he was fastest bloke in the world. I mean, he's gone off the ball a bit this year. I mean, he doesn't help his case by messing about a bit the way he has with the team this year, like saying he might be a captain or might not be a captain, but the flack he's been getting is out of all proportion to any misdemeanours he's performed.
You've heard about the Bradford riots. What do you think the cause of it was?
Well, it's like the cause of most riots: disaffected youth, mismanaged by the police. It's antagonised in the case of Bradford, mainly by the fact that the race element comes into it. But I don't think it was so much a race element. This is a matter of the kids feeling they weren't getting enough respect, and they were getting a hard deal in the city.
Do you think the police made a big issue out of a little thing?
I don't think the police can handle any group of young kids, to be honest. I mean, you just look at Meadowell. I mean, they couldn't handle white kids, and they can't handle groups of Asian kids. They can't handle anybody, to be honest.
Moderate.
Do you know anything about the Bradford riots?
The who?
The Bradford riots.
No. Oh yes, aye. Yes.
What do you think the cause of that was?
Well, just jobbers, drugs and everything. Just pit a pat like they did in Ireland. They saw it on the television. They saw it in Ireland on the television with them riding and sending a near start, and then Leeds started after that. It'll be Kit Kat, will do Castleby next.
Do you think that the media give black people good press?
Give them what?
Do you think the media gives black people good press?
Oh yes, as good, fair enough as everybody else. I mean, the point is, you see, is that chief in London says, the police chief, and he must be right that the black people cause more trouble than what the English do, what the white people do. Not always, mind, eh?
Don't you think, like, sort of, the black people get always, most of the time they're shown as like sort of drug dealers and thieves and whatever, but
it was here that brought them in, from the Caribbean. They brought the drugs in, and there was no drugs until the black people come to Birmingham and those places. Eh? It was unheard of. The only drugs you got was from the doctors. Eh? The what? Oh.
So you're saying there wasn't any drugs before the black people came to this country?
No, the only thing they used to drink here was methylated spirits, the weirdies, Eh? But now they're on drugs and everything. They're all handed over. If you see where the drugs come from, they're all from the west, aren't they?
Yeah. They're grown here as well.
Well, yes, because they're cheaper. Because they find it. That's why. That's have started. You see.
Right, but like drugs wasn't like, now it's more openly bought and sold, but before it was like sort of underground stuff, wasn't it?
No, definitely not. No. When nobody knows how to get drugs, it was all drink, and that's a drug. Eh?
West End? You going to a pub in the West End and buy drugs?
Pardon?
You going to the pub in the West End and buy drugs?
You'd buy them here, fast out in there, if somebody would come approach you want a drug. Eh? I mean, I think the pusher should be in prison, not the takers. Eh?
The one who supplies them.
one that supplies them.
Who? Joy Gardner.
Joy Gardner, Labour MP in London, isn't she?
No, the one, the legal immigrant who's been murdered by immigration officers.
Yeah, oh right, yeah, I know the immigration officers and all the aggravation there. Yeah, I do know the case. Yeah.
What do you think about the handling of the case?
Well, it seemed to me that it was somewhat heavy-handed from my understanding of it. I mean, they seemed to go in sort of over the top, but I don't know the full details. But it's the impression I got was that it was over the top anyway. The way they handled the case, the way they managed to tie her up basically and gag her. Basically, it seems unacceptable, frankly. I mean, to me.
What do you think about the police got off that case?
Well, unfortunately, as appears to be the case so often, I mean, in as much as they investigate themselves, I think to a degree there's often a whitewash to those sort of situations.
What do you think about Linford Christie?
Well, I think he's a good athlete. He seems to have been have a bit of trouble lately, but I also think that perhaps he charged too much money to do basically what's a sport, really.
Do you think he got the recognition of the good athletes, or?
Oh, I think he's well respected in. I think he's well respected in the sort of athletic community. I think he's certainly a good athlete. I just find it a little strange the amounts of money that they ask when they compete.
What do you think about media that they're always talking about his lunchbox other than his achievement he made?
Oh well, I mean just cheap trash basically. I mean, you know, it's all the media hype that you get with that sort of rubbish. You know, just trying to sensationalism really more than anything else.
Do you know about the Bradford riots?
The Bradford riots. Not a great deal, unfortunately. No, I'm afraid I don't.
Do you think the media give black people good press?
On the whole, no. I wouldn't have said so. I mean, recently, the only thing that springs to mind is he had Paul Conlon, is it, of the Metropolitan Police, shouting the odds about most of the muggings relates to black people. I mean, it's not particularly helpful to anybody. I accept that there's a great deal that people can do to assist everybody. Frankly, I mean, I don't think that blacks get a good press. Indeed, a great deal of the minorities don't get a good press anyway.
We demand an end to discrimination. We demand equal opportunities. We demand recognition. We demand a voice. We demand respect. Brethren, take a look at yourself. Brethren, take a look at yourself. Brethren, take a look at yourself. Brethren, take a look at yourself.